You walk into the room and your fish moves, not randomly, not slowly. It comes straight to the glass, right where you're standing. Now you tell yourself something simple. It just wants food. But here's the uncomfortable question. What if it knows it's you, not a human, not a shadow, you? And that gets weird fast. Because if your fish recognizes you, that means one thing. It's been watching you longer than you think. Today we're breaking down 7 signs your fish actually knows who you are. And some of these are a little more unsettling than you'd expect. Sign 1. Let's start with the most obvious one. You walk in, fish swims straight to you. Simple, right? But here's the twist. Does it do that for everyone, or just you? Because many fish owners notice something strange. Friends come over, fish barely reacts. You show up, instant attention. That's not random behavior. Fish are actually pattern learners. They don't think like humans, but they associate shape movement timing. So when you appear again and again, you become a predictable event. And in the fish brain, predictable equals important. Congratulations, you're not just a human anymore. You're a recurring event in a fish's life. But here's where it gets interesting. Over time, this stops being just about food. The fish starts anticipating you, not just feeding time. That's when it crosses from reaction to recognition. Sign 2. Now, this one is subtle recognition. Someone else walks up to the tank. They try. Tapping the glass. Moving their hand. Getting attention, and the fish? Nothing. Just floating there like, I don't know you. But then you walk in, and suddenly, movement, curiosity. Approach, that contrast is the key. Fish can actually differentiate between familiar and unfamiliar stimuli. Not emotionally like, I love this person, but more like, this one matters, that one doesn't. To your fish, strangers are just background noise. You're the main character. Everyone else is an NPC. And yes, that's the closest thing to status you'll ever get in a fish tank. Sign 3. This is where things get a bit more intentional. Watch your fish when you're not around. Slow, random calm. Now watch it when you come close. Suddenly, faster movement. Direct swimming. More active behavior. That's not coincidence. That's stimulus-based behavior change. Fish don't waste energy for no reason. So if it's moving differently because of you, you're triggering something in its brain. It's not just swimming anymore. It's reacting. And here's the darker thought. That reaction could be curiosity, expectation, or mild stress. You don't always know which one. Imagine seeing a giant face appear outside your world every day. You'd react too. Sign 4. Now we enter routine territory. Fish love routine. If you feed your fish at the same time every day, something strange happens. Before you even feed it, it's already waiting. You walk in at 6 p.m. and your fish is already near the feeding spot. Why? Because it has learned. At this time, that human appears. This is called time-based conditioning. Yes, your fish has a sense of timing, not with a clock, but with patterns. You think you're feeding your fish on schedule, but your fish thinks you are the schedule. Let that sink in. Sign 5. Try this. Move your finger along the glass slowly. If your fish follows it, that's huge, because this means it sees you. It tracks movement. It chooses to follow. That's interaction, not emotional bonding, but definitely awareness. At this point, you're not just outside the tank anymore. You're part of its environment. And the creepy part, from the fish's perspective, you're the largest moving object in its world. You're basically a floating sky god might with snacks. Sign 6. This one surprises people. Some fish refuse to eat unless their owner is present. Why? Because they've linked. You equals safety plus food. If you're not there, the fish hesitates. If you are, instant feeding. That's not just hunger. That's behavioral association. It doesn't just trust the food, it trusts the moment you're there. And yeah, that's a little deeper than most people expect from a fish. Sign 7. Final sign, and maybe the most telling. Your fish just waits, near the same spot, at the same time. Looking up. That's not random movement. That's expectation. The fish has built a mental pattern. Place time. Person all connected. Your fish isn't just living, it's waiting for you. And if that doesn't feel slightly unsettling, you're not thinking hard enough. So, does your fish love you? No, let's not lie to ourselves. But does it recognize you? Yes. In its own simple, quiet way, you are a pattern, a presence, a part of its world, and maybe that's enough. Your fish might not love you, but it definitely knows you're there. And now I'm curious. What's the weirdest thing your fish does when it sees you? Does it rush to the glass or follow your finger or stare at you like it knows your taxes? Tell me in the comments. And if your fish is secretly judging you right now, go ahead and subscribe before it reports you to the Aquarium Council.